What's up YouTube, and welcome back to the Anabolic Outpost. And today is an Anabolic Outpost classic video showing off my crockpot chicken burrito bowl meal prep recipe. If you've never meal prepped before, from the outside it could look quite intimidating and also a lot of work, but this is going to be the simplest meal prep recipe you could find out there. That's delicious and also going to give you the necessary nutrients you need, such as protein, to carry you throughout your day. One of the best things about this meal prep recipe as well is that you don't even really need to measure anything. It's pretty easy to eyeball, and things such as the corn or the beans, you're just using the whole can anyway, not needing to measure anything there. And taking a look over the ingredients in this dish, of course we got the main event in the raw chicken breast. You'll need 3 pounds in total. Next up is 1 can of black beans, assuming that can is a pound. And a can of corn as well, also assuming that that is a pound. And continuing with the theme, you'll also need a pound of your favorite salsa. And to season it, you'll need garlic cloves, chili powder, cumin, dried cayenne pepper, and oregano. And those ingredients are just for the crockpot recipe itself. Of course, you'll need the additional burrito bowl ingredients. Like you'll see later, I'll be making rice, cheese, and lettuce, and however you want to customize it with additional salsa, guac, sour cream, whatever. And as you know, the chicken will be slow cooked in a crock pot over 6 to 8 hours. And onto the recipe itself, you will start by taking your 3 pounds of chicken breast and layering it at the bottom of the crock pot. If there are some gaps at the bottom or they're laying over each other a little bit, don't worry about it too much. Lucky for me though, the chicken breast pretty much perfectly fit at the bottom. For the garlic cloves, I like to take the extra time to chop them and mince them by hand, but if you have a garlic mincer, just go ahead and save yourself some time and use that. And the minced garlic you could throw right on top of the chicken breast. I forgot to mention, it's supposed to be 10 grams, but it's garlic. You could just eyeball it and go overboard if you like it that much. And believe it or not, it's actually pretty much smooth sailing from here. I got my pound of corn, sprinkling that in on top of the chicken breast. And the same thing with the beans. Make sure with both the beans and the corn you are draining them before you add them in. I'll take the time to add in the spices now, and when I make this for myself, I'll usually just eyeball the spices. I'll be professional for the video and measure them out. And the easiest way to remember is 2, 2, and 1. 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 2 teaspoons of cumin, 1 teaspoon of cayenne, and 1 teaspoon of oregano. Moving on to liquid time, you will need 4 ounces of water. And the last ingredient being the salsa you could spread across the top. I did skim over this a bit earlier with the salsa. I am using the brand of Frontera salsa. I really don't have a preferred brand of salsa like some of you do. But if you're questioning the health aspect, it's really hard to go wrong with a salsa. You'd probably have to go out of your way to find an unhealthy salsa. So as long as it's anywhere from 10 to 30 calories per serving, you're probably good. And I know it's hard to believe, but that is it. All of the cooking that you will need for this recipe, aside from the rice and the toppings at the end, is complete. Well, technically not complete, but 6 to 8 hours later of slow cooking, and it will be. And real quickly, before you plug it in, I just like to give it a stir on top to kind of get the spices soaked in with everything else. Don't know if it's necessary to do this or not, it's just something that I always do. And you are now good to plug it in, set it on low, and cover it for 6 to 8 hours. And we are here back slightly over 8 hours actually. I know I broke the 6 to 8 hour rule, but it's really hard to overcook this, and the more you cook it, the easier it's going to be to shred. And that's exactly what you're seeing now, the satisfying chicken shredding process. And if I'm being quite honest, when it's this tender, all you have to do is just kind of play with it with the tongs. But if yours is a little bit more tough, say you were closer to the 6 hour side, taking the tongs and doing what I am doing now, that little twisty wrist motion, is what you're going to need to do to get your chicken shredded. And just like that, with roughly 10 minutes of prep time, a delicious dinner is served. At least the meat portion of the bowl, which is by far the hardest part. And if you're wondering too, these do make great tacos if burrito bowls aren't your thing. And if they are your thing, this is how I make mine. Starting off with a layer of brown rice, add the meat on top, a sprinkle of cheese on top of that, and a sprinkle of lettuce to finish it off. Very simple, but really I'm a simple eater. And if you're wondering about that brown rice, I actually uploaded a short a couple days prior on how to make brown rice without a rice cooker. Pretty simple stuff, but it's out there for whoever needs it. The recipe itself though is officially complete, and if you've ever watched one of my videos before, you know what time it is, giving you the macro breakdown for this recipe. And because this is a meal prep recipe, I've split it up into 7 different portions, so these macros are for 1/7 of the chicken crock pot recipe, not including the cheese, the lettuce, or the rice. Just the chicken in the crock pot and all the other ingredients cooked with it. It's going to come in with a total of 72 grams of protein, 47 grams of carbs, and 11 grams of fat for 550 calories. Absolutely flawless macros right there if you ask me. And of course, everyone knows the insane macros that could come with a chicken breast dish, so I'm not going to hype it up too much. You know what you're going to get with this recipe. And what you're getting is a dinner plate like this with 6 additional dinner plates like that, either for the freezer or in consecutive days after that. And that will conclude today's recipe. If you did have any questions about how to make this or anything I said in this video, leave a comment down below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Other than that, if you found this helpful and delicious today, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.